cats nestle close to their kittens. The lambs have laid down with the sheep. You're cozy and warm in your bed, my dear. Please, go the fuck to sleep. The windows are dark in the town, child. The whales huddle down in the deep. I'll read you one very last book if you swear you'll go the fuck to sleep. The eagles who soar through the sky are at rest, and the creatures who crawl, run, and creep. I know you are not thirsty. That's bullshit. Stop lying. Lie the fuck down, my darling, and sleep. The wind whispers soft through the grass hun. The field mice, they make not a peep. It's been 38 minutes already. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Go to sleep. All the kids from daycare are in dreamland. The froggy has made his last leap. Hell no, you can't go to the bathroom. You know where you can go. The fuck to sleep. The owls fly forth from the treetops. Through the air they soar and they sweep. A hot crimson rage fills my heart, love. For real, shut the fuck up and sleep. The cubs and the lions are snoring. Wrapped in a big snuggly heap. How come you can do all this other great shit, but you can't lie the fuck down and sleep? The seeds slumber beneath the earth now, and the crops that the farmers will reap. No more questions. This interview's over. I've got 2 words for you, kid. Fucking sleep. The tiger reclines in the simmering jungle. The sparrow has silenced her cheep. Fuck your stuffed bear. I'm not getting you shit. Close your eyes. Cut the crap. Sleep. Flowers doze low in the meadows, and high on the mountains so steep. My life is a failure. I'm a shitty ass parent. Stop fucking with me, please, and sleep. The giant pangolins of Madagascar are snoozing as I lie here and openly weep. Sure, fine, whatever, I'll bring you some milk. Who the fuck cares? You're not gonna sleep. This room is all I can remember. The furniture crappy and cheap. You win. You escape. You run down the hall as I nod the fuck off and sleep. Leery and dazed I awaken to find your eyes shut, so I keep my fingers crossed tight as I tiptoe away and pray that you are fucking asleep. We're finally watching our movie. Popcorn's in the microwave. Beep. Oh shit. God damn it. You've gotta be kidding. Come on. Go the fuck back to sleep. Is there such thing as insanity among penguins? I try to avoid a definition of insanity or derangement. I don't mean that a penguin might believe he or she is Lenin or Napoleon Bonaparte. But could they just go crazy because they've had enough of their colony?
Well, I've never seen a penguin bashing its head against a rock. They do get disoriented. They end up in places they shouldn't be, a long way from the ocean.
These penguins are all heading to the open water to the right. But one of them caught our eye, the one in the center. He would neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why? One of these disoriented or deranged penguins showed up at the New Harbor diving camp, already some 80 kilometers away from where it should be. The rules for the humans are: do not disturb or hold up the penguin. Stand still and let him go on his way. And here he's heading off into the interior of the vast continent. With 5,000 kilometers ahead of him, he's heading towards certain death.
I think cinema can express our collective dreams more than any other medium, and that's probably the real significance of it. Not really everybody would expect from me to say I saw a great film, this or that one, and it changed my life. No, what actually changed my perception was a B picture, Dr. Fu Manchu, where I found out that one shot in a gun battle was recycled. And none of my peers saw this. And I started to look differently at cinema, how it was organized, how it was narrated, and how it was edited. So at age 13 or 14, Dr. Fu Manchu, I owe him a lot. It would be more than one or two. Gesualdo, the Prince of Venosa, but that was early 1600s, and I made a film, Death for Five Voices, but otherwise very hard to name them. Beethoven certainly, Wagner, some modern composers. Arvo Pärt is very close to my heart, and yes, of course, music has played a very big role in my life. Not only the life of a filmmaker, but has had deep impact on me. No, not really, because I've been, I wouldn't say a loner, but I have somehow developed my own vision and my own way to narrate cinema. But of course, there are filmmakers I'm very fond of. David Wark Griffith, Méliès, Buñuel, Kurosawa. I could continue giving you names of real great filmmakers, but none of them, I could say, influenced my work. Why do I make films? The easiest answer is that I never learned anything in my life, with the exception of a little bit of cinema. It has come almost naturally to me, and like, for example, a young kid all of a sudden wants to play a musical instrument, and they become musicians, and there's not much questioning, not much introduction into it. It comes natural, and in a way it
cinema came to me like that. Not really. Maybe a strange thing is that I do believe that some of my writing will survive and outlive everything I've done in cinema. And the two titles I could name are Of Walking in Ice and Conquest of the Useless. Yes, it came very clearly when I was something like 14, but a few other things came as well. Traveling on foot, an intensive religious phase, it all coincided. It was just an intense moment in my adolescence. Read. If you don't read, you'll never be a filmmaker. Very lively, very pleasant. I'm astonished about the amount of response and the intensity of response, so I didn't expect that. And I've had a very fine time, which actually is not over yet. I only have to be watchful that I do not talk myself completely empty. So 4 days, 5 days, that's the maximum. It's the best place in the entire Midwest, I guess, or maybe one of the best in the country, because it's not the theater. Yes, some other places can build a theater as beautiful as this and as effective as this, but you are present here only as a voice. But I name the name John Vickers, and it depends on the person who programs, who creates a program. That's the essence, the spirit behind it, the vibrancy of your program. And what I know, and I've seen the programs, this is, it defines the campus in a way culturally. Of course, there's a big music school, but now the mood of the campus is defined by this place here. So thank you very much.
And when they make up their mind, they whisper to each other like chicken, and they speak in unison to each other. It's completely strange. And the case was apparently they had a catastrophic childhood with an abusive father who apparently sexually molested them. And they, on the garden, at the fence, there was a garden shed shared with the property next doors, where a fat, ugly, purple-faced trucker lived. And he had a relationship. They started a relationship with him, and for years they had a sexual relationship, and they were deeply and madly in love together with him. And one day the trucker tells him, "Girls, that has to stop because I'm getting married." And they couldn't take it. And they tossed themselves in front of his truck, make him stop and beat him up in sync with their handbags, or poked at him in sync with their umbrellas. And it went on for a couple of years until the truck driver went to court to have a restraining order. And now in British common law, you have to testify alone, but there was an exception in legal history, never happens. They testified in unison together. And they, because the judge was very wise, he saw that they were in immediate panics when they were somehow separated, and they jabbed across the courtroom in sync with their fingers and pointed at the truck driver and yelled, "He's lying. The liar is lying. Don't you hear every word that he says is a lie?" And then it comes, "The bucking bastard is lying."
At the same moment, the same slip of tongue, the bucking faster. And of course the trucker got his restraining order, and they flee to an aunt at the edge of the Scottish Highlands, and they immediately take a vow. We are going to dig a tunnel through this entire mountain, because somewhere on the other side there must be a better world. And they know it will take them more, or it will take 15, 20, maybe 30 human consecutive lives until they have drilled through the mountain. And they started anyway. And in 2.5 years, they are something like 50 feet into the mountain. And they have raised a little fox, because hunters had poisoned a fox den, and one little fox survived, and they warm him under their armpits alternatively. And in a year, the fox is grown up and follows them. And in this tunnel, there are cracks on the side, and all of a sudden the fox disappears. And they are frantic because the fox doesn't come back, and they start to chisel to the side, and all of a sudden the sidewall collapses, and they find themselves in a fantastic world of crystal cathedrals and stalactites and stalagmites, and they explore it and they give it names, and then it's night and the fox is found. And next day they put on their wedding gowns. They have their wedding gowns because they know maybe they reach the other end. And all of a sudden they stumble across railroad tracks, narrow railroad tracks, a little bit like Michael Jackson's Neverland train. And all of a sudden a train like this comes passing by full of tourists, and the conductor is explaining about the cave, and they fall in love with the voice of that conductor, and they follow, and of course for decades this system of caves has been discovered and has been used for tourism. And they walk all day long and follow the tracks, and exactly at 6 p.m. sharp, they reach the other end. And there's an employee who rattles down this steel sort of Venetian blinds and locks it. And they say, stop, let us out. And he looks at them and is completely perplexed, this employee. And he says, I cannot let you out. Nobody can be in there because we had 262 people entering and 262 people exiting.